All right, so I was talking about, do you have troubles if you try to hammer a bearing in? Well, as you watched, we put our bearings in, everything was fine. What we notice is typically with the lower grade brands of ceramic balls, you can run into a problem. Now, I'm not trying to pick on any place in particular, but depends on where you buy your stuff. Said we only work with Dave Conforti at Worldwide Bearings. He uses USA sourced or Japanese sourced bearings exclusively. You can buy a less expensive ceramic bearing. So what I've done, I've taken one of these bearings, put it in this bag here, and the whole idea, I'm going to see what happens when we hammer on this, and hopefully the bag will keep it from shooting across the room or whatever. We'll give it a shot, give it a good whack. Nope, still in place. Let's try it again. Uh-oh. There we go, look at that. It broke into pieces. We have ceramic ball mess. Now, it's sort of dimpled, but I had to smack it pretty hard. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some of the USA and Japan sourced bearings that Worldwide sent me. And we're going to do the same thing, same size from the USA. Now we're going to do the same thing, see if we can break this US made ceramic. Dink, 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 still good. Well, you guys know what that means. We need a bigger hammer. I'm sure we can break it with this. What we're doing is very effectively tearing up steel. And the bearing, let's see if we can pull it out here. Is in much better shape. And remember, guys, you'd rather have something bend than break. This thing is still round and pounded the poo out of this steel. Now let's compare that to the less expensive model, and you can see we have a bag full of dust. So that was pretty cool. What does that mean? Your chances of damaging your bearings by pounding them in, especially improperly, with the cheaper bearings is much, much higher, obviously. With a bearing like this, I talked to Dave about this, Conforti. He's been doing this for years and years and years. I've been using them since 1997. I have never seen a bad ceramic ball. Races destroyed. And if you go in and you notice, if you remember how we were pressing on the outside of the bearing, not the inside. If you hit the inside, this ball can damage, especially the inner race. You could also damage the outer by doing this same thing, because the ceramic is so tough that it can damage steel. One other thing also that's really hard for me to demonstrate, so I'm not going to do it, but these are not round. Okay, they're round. They're sort of round, right? The quality control on something like the USA bearing, these things are round to within millions. I mean, they are super round, and what that means is if you looked at them underneath the microscope, the cheap bearings are going to have dimples, which of course can cause friction, whereas the round bearing isn't going to have nearly as much friction. I was telling you, when you push the bike, you can notice it. If you put them on at the track, you notice it. How much do these pick up? There is no set number, but you can see from this example that using a high quality, and these are, you know, the American bearings are considerably more expensive than the ones that explode into dust. They should be. That's what quality is. You might be able to save a dime, but you're going to end up you could potentially end up in big trouble. And anybody who's ever rode a bike that had a wheel bearing explode knows what I mean. It's really not any fun. So